Hey everyone, Robert here from Chasing Photons. If you recall in my last video, I mentioned I wanted to do a follow-up video that's a little more technical, so you could see my gear and the process that I use just to produce that one image of the Andromeda galaxy. I'd like to take a second here to say I apologize in advance for the sound quality of when I'm breaking down my gear, but I'm in a big open room and it kind of sounds a little hollow. So stick around. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. Alright, so what we're going to do now is take a quick look at the actual rig I used to take that photo of the Andromeda galaxy. But two things I want you to know. One, I'm not going to get that technical. Two, that actual image of the Andromeda galaxy was 130 images that were 3 minutes long each, combined all together to make that one image. So that image was actually 6.5 hours of data collection to make that one image. So let's take a quick look. So to start off with, we have a Celestron AVX Mount. And what this does is it moves with the night sky. Now we know the sky is not moving, it's the rotation of the Earth. But if we didn't have that, the image Andromeda would keep moving out of our frame. Not only that, is if you're not dead centered and locked on it, every little movement would cause blurriness and it would cause your stars to elongate. Instead of being points of light, they would actually be streaks. So it's very important to have something that moves with the night sky. The telescope is a refractor. This is a Starfield Optics refractor that is really good for taking images. Now, refractors are best for images. I don't particularly use them for viewing. I use what are called Schmidt-Cassegrains or reflectors, and those are the ones that use mirrors. Those are really good for viewing. But these types, the refractors, are really good for photographing the night sky. And right about here, there is what's called a light pollution sensor, and what it does is this: it actually ignores all artificial light. So lights from houses or street lights, stuff like that, it actually does not record that wavelength of data, so it ignores it completely, and it'll only actually accept the actual light that's coming from the nebula or whatever it is that you're shooting. Back here is the camera, and this is a special camera, as you could tell. And why it's special is this. See these fins right here? These fins actually cool the camera sensor down to -15, -20 degrees. And why it does it is this: the hotter a camera sensor gets, the more pixelation that's in the picture, and the more noise that's in the picture. So by keeping it cold, it keeps it clearer and easier to work with afterwards. This right here is a wireless extender. What this does is it connects to my Wi-Fi network in my house, so that this way I can control this rig from inside my house, as opposed to going outside in the middle of winter and trying to make corrections or change things or program the actual computer that runs this. So I'm a little lazy, I can't help it. This right here is a computer. It's called a ASI Air Pro, and this device controls the whole rig. It tells the actual base how to move. It takes images from here, which this is the guide scope and guide camera, and I'll get into this. What this does is it takes a picture every second, and it sends that picture to the ASI Air Pro that's right here. And then this actually measures the pixels of where the stars are. And if it notices that the stars are moving out of their pixels, it actually sends corrections to the base, so that the base will either move faster to make sure that Andromeda is always centered, or slow down, or whichever way it has to move. So it's very important to have that, so that this way we can take really long pictures. The longer the pictures, the more photons we collect, the better the image our end result will be. All right? So that's basically the setup that I use. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to just quickly go in. I just want to show you the actual image, one of the 3-minute long images so you get an idea of how much actual data we record with just one image.
That stuff looks pretty expensive. How much does that all cost?
Right, okay, so just so you know, I really don't like talking about money and what stuff like this costs. And the reason why I don't is because I'm in Canada, so I have Canadian dollars. And if I'm buying something for $500, to the people in the US, they probably only pay $375 for it. So it's not really fair to kind of say, this is what it's going to cost you. But you can look around. If you need any help or guidance, just leave a message below and I'll be glad to help you out.
Yeah, but can you give me an idea of how much that all costs?
Okay, I'll tell you this, okay? I always say that there's two prices to my equipment. One is the price I actually paid for it. And the second price is the price I tell my wife I paid for it, which is generally about half as much, so that this way she doesn't get too upset with me. All right? So on that note, let's go into where the computer is and let's check it out. Come on.
So here we are back at my desk, and I just wanted to quickly show you what one of those 130 images look like. Remember, this is one image at 3 minutes long each of the Andromeda galaxy. Here it is. That's what I work with. So from there, I take the 130 images. I then add what are called darks, biases, and flats. Those are just correction filters, so that this way it removes the stuff that shouldn't be there. And then I color correct it a little bit, enhance the colors a little bit to come up with a final image that looks like that. So that in total is 6.5 hours of data collection, probably another 4.5 to 5 hours of color calibration, cutting, cropping, and all that stuff put together. So that's a good 11 hours of work right there. My name is Robert, this is Chasing Photons, and I thank you for tuning in. See you next time.